Okay, so you've picked your movie. You might not have watched it yet, and that's okay. But now we're going to go into the research portion. We're going to skip taking notes because the research portion is what's going to help us understand what it is we're actually going to be taking notes about. So what you're going to do is you are going to find 3 sources, 3 professional reviews for your film. Now, on my website, I've offered 3 potential sources. You should be able to find everything you need on those 3 sources. If not, I will give you a few other ideas. But the reason you're going to get 3 is you are going to find one that's a positive review of your film, one that's a negative review of your film, and one that's mixed or neutral. I would say of these 3 sites, Metacritic is kind of one-stop shopping. So we're going to go to Metacritic first. Okay, so let's say I'm going to research The Godfather. I look up my film. Right away, I will see my Metascore, which is basically what do the critics think about it. Well, The Godfather, unsurprisingly, received 100%, which means everybody liked it. So I might have a hard time finding positive, negative, and neutral. I might just find only positive. Okay, if I click on the tab that says Critic Reviews, all of a sudden I have this whole list of reviews, and each one of these will lead you to the full review. Now, depending on your film, some of these links might not work anymore. If it's an older film, sometimes websites will take down old reviews, so you might have to just keep looking and looking and looking. But if I click on this one, let's see what comes up from the Austin Chronicle. And that one's gone, so I can't do that one. Got to keep going down, keep going down. Here's one from Roger Ebert. All right, and that one's not there either. Let's see if I can find one from the Washington Post. All right, here we go. Now I found one, and then I would read this full review. So once you've found your reviews, hopefully one positive, one negative, and one mixed, you're going to copy and paste it and bring it over to a Google Doc. Now, in my Google Doc, I titled it my username and then professional reviews. That'll make it easier when I'm going through it to figure out whose is whose. All right, so I've copied and pasted it. The formatting might be a little funky, so you can play around with it, but you do want to make sure that you have who is the reviewer, what is the source, and what is the date. So just make sure not to erase that information. Once you've transferred your review, you're going to read the review and figure out what is it that this critic is actually saying. So I'll go through and read, and the things that you're going to be looking for are twofold. You're going to be looking for analysis, which analysis is where the reviewer is talking about the hows and the whys. What does this mean? Why did they make this choice? What is this symbolic of? So right here, right away, we talk about the cinematography. It was revolutionary at the time, and it plunged its characters into pools of semi-darkness. I would say that that's definitely analysis, because it's talking about how the way that the movie was filmed added to the characterization. So I'm going to choose a color. Let's say I'm going to choose yellow, and yellow will be my analysis color. Now, you are also, so you're going to highlight anything that is analysis. You are also going to look for evaluation. An evaluation, as the name denotes, is you're giving a value or a judgment to the film. So you need to find places where the reviewer is giving his or her opinion. So if we keep going over this, see if we can find anything. This is all kind of background. Might be towards the end. Okay, it's saying down here that it's set up for Godfather 2, which it achieved the impossible equal to its predecessor. So it's basically saying Godfather 2 is equally as good as Godfather Part 1. That's a judgment call. That is something that the reviewer is saying is good or bad. So that would be evaluation. So then I'm going to pick a different color. Let's say blue. And you can choose whatever color you want, just maybe at the top. Give a little key as to what it is. And you're going to do that for the entire article. Now, I just highlighted 2 things. You're going to go through and read the entire article, and you're going to do that 3 times. Again, one for a positive review, one for a negative review, and one for a mixed review. If you have a film like The Godfather where it only has positive reviews, then you can only pick positive reviews. When you're finished with finding your reviews, So you've gone to all the different websites. Then what you're going to do, have all your documents here, everything's highlighted, everything's cleaned up nicely. You are going to share the document electronically with me. And I would like you to use my apps account, which is kcarlson1@apps.district833.org. And you need to submit this electronically to me by Monday morning. So you can finish it in class today and not have homework, or you could work on it over the weekend. Totally up to you, but it must be submitted electronically by Monday. Now, if you've kind of exhausted your resources, you know, you've gone through Metacritic, you've gone to Salon.com, you've gone to the New York Times, Rotten Tomatoes is also a good source. The problem with it is that anybody can write a review for Rotten Tomatoes. So let's say I'm going to look up Toy Story 3. Right away, I'll get my score. The problem is you also get an audience score, not just a critic score. So if you're going to look on this website, Rotten Tomatoes, for reviews, you want to click on this little tab right here that says Top Critics. Those are the most reputable. Those are kind of the most well-known sources. That's a great resource. So if you click Top Critics, and then you scroll down. Oh, right, down here. Sorry, down here is where you have the reviews. Then you want to click Top Critics. And this is where you will see the reviews, and you want to click Full Review to get everything. On Rotten Tomatoes, their scale is if you have a ripe tomato, the movie was good. If you have a splat, which I don't know if this film has any, but if you have a splat, a green blobby mark over here, like you can see, Minions or Ted 2, they all have splats. That means the critics didn't like them. So if you're wondering if it's positive or negative, look for either the ripe tomato or the green splat. Now, if you are completely coming up empty-handed, you can't find any reviews for your movie, it might tell you it is not a good choice for a film. So if you're coming up empty-handed, maybe email me and ask for another suggestion or request something else. But you definitely will want to make sure you find a movie that has all three critical sources. If you have any other questions, feel free to email me, ask your peers, ask the sub. Be good, and I look forward to talking about the note-taking process when we come back on Monday. If you would like to get ahead of the game and watch your movie over the weekend, absolutely you can do that. I wouldn't start the note-taking process until we've really talked about it in class. Have a nice weekend.